But I think they have got better. I think they obviously got far superior writers in, and much more experienced writers in that genre and of sci-fi. So, in my opinion, I do think they have got better. Yeah.
I think getting a script in on time is so important.
Right.
Because the thing is that that's the simplest part of the process. Your script and your casting, get that right. Whatever else goes wrong, at least your script and your casting is correct. You can't really kind of half-ass that and then just go, oh, we'll just put a load of spectacular things in the background and hope people like it. Obviously, I've got no idea at all what happens behind the scenes regarding the script, but the general rule of things, and also other programs. If you, for example, if you watch Breaking Bad, that is a masterclass on scripts and acting.
Sure.
You can sit down, you can watch it every single episode, and pretty much go, there is no mistakes that have been made. So I think, again, it's time. Kind of going back to something similar to the kind of length of the time, but you have time slots that something is supposed to go out, but that's done years in advance. So, for example, they would say, well, we've got time slots for Doctor Who in January 2023, and then we have to schedule everything in advance. And obviously, if things happen, scripts aren't done, for some reason, actors' contracts means that they can't work, then what happens is that gets thrown out, and then you go, well, we're just gonna, all these time slots have been fixed. We've either got to pull it forwards or backwards. Actually, there was a case in point. There was a show that I worked on called The Bastard Executioner, written by Kurt Sutter, that did Sons of Anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you hear stories, you don't know what's real. But apparently it was problematic, basically, that the day of shooting there wasn't a script. And that was being written as the person drove in the car. Now, I think a lot of the problem that I heard was that basically, I think Fox gave the green light for it, and they're like, you've got to start shooting in 3 months. I don't know whether it's 3 months, but it was something insane like that, because they said, oh, we've got this spare time slot that we've got to fill. We need it done by this date, so bang, start going. So literally, if you don't have enough time to build a castle, a village, cast, write a script, then that has a huge knock-on effect. The program came out, it wasn't very popular, and in America they're way less forgiving than they are in the UK, that two or three episodes, if it doesn't hit, they're going to pull the plug on it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, but I remember Tom Baker when he got powerful enough, he'd say, I can't say that, so no. And the directors got a bit upset because he said, this line is absolute rubbish. Well, he used one or two other words. But he said, I can't say that, I'll say this. So he used to make up his own lines. And sometimes he was absolutely right about doing it. And, well, script-wise, it got better after Tom, I think, because they realised they were writing rubbish a lot of the time. I mean, not rubbish, but I mean, because the actors were good enough to get over it. Mm. This is why I admired Colin. I mean, you take any actor, given a decent script, can be marvellous. If you get bad script, you've got to be even better actor. It's like Al Pacino in Scent of a Woman. The script, the idea of it, the concept, was absolutely ludicrous. A blind man goes to see a student and say, bump me off later, and you see this blind man driving a car. But it didn't matter because Pacino was unbelievable, I thought, in that film, especially at the end. Have you anybody seen it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that end speech is fantastic. Well, this is an actor getting, well, the script was okay, but he made it his own.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Hopkins in
anything he does.
No,
absolutely.
Hopkins, I meant Yes, Silence of the Lambs.
Sure.
A good actor. What's his name? Brian Cox played it.
Oh, sure.
Brian Cox was just as good because any actor, given the part of them, you can do anything you like as a mad person.
Yeah, Manhunter.
It's
right.
slightly different if you're playing somebody who's a bit different, because you've got to be a better actor. You can do anything as a madman.
Sure. You wouldn't know from experience, right, son? Well, it sounds like a lot of what you're talking about is there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I'm kind of curious, since the three of you have been at the BBC and beyond for quite some time. Are there any kind of behind the scenes stories, anecdotes you can tell that are appropriate for this audience?
Appropriate for YouTube?
I can't think of any inappropriate ones, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I really can't think of any. No, I mean, the one thing that springs to mind, doing the Revelation of the Daleks with Terry Malloy playing Davros. He came out of the makeup, and as I was walking past, he came out through the makeup door, and he looked at me, he was all red in his, and he looked at me and said, "Oh God, Colin, have I got a hen on me?" I don't like that. Not that interesting, really, is it?
I've on one episode of Doctor Who, I can't remember what it was. They said, "Oh, we don't need you for a while. You can just go and sit in the canteen." So I sat in the canteen. I was just watching my laptop, watching TV programs. I don't want to watch. Are you running into overtime today? I wonder. I was like, and then I went to the security guard and I said, "Are you still shooting on Doctor Who?" And he's like, "Oh no, they ran 45 minutes." And I said, "Oh, can you? I don't want to name names. I said, can you ring up the AD and say that I'm still here in my costume?" And so he rang up. He said, "Yeah, I've got John here," and she was on the phone. He was on the phone this far away. And all I could hear was, "Oh my God, sorry!" And I'm like, you know what? I've just acquired another hour's overtime for watching television.
Right, sure.
But again, it's kind of getting back to, it's just a panic. Got to get everything done. Got to get everything, and you know, your mind is on exactly what's happening at that one time. Not like, oh yeah, we left him in the canteen.
I want to get back to the canteen, but I want to give Michael a chance here to...
I can't actually think of anything that happened off. I could if I concentrated, but I can tell you one story, which you may have heard, about a stage performance of Oedipus Rex with Gielgud and various other people. Was the director, Peter Brook. He's still around. He's done some marvellous stuff. But Brook was a bit sort of methody, and he said, "I want everybody to come on and say something absolutely horrifyingly outrageous and frighten us all." And one or two people went and I said, "Oh, my mother died yesterday," and so and so and so and so. And the cat was strangled by the next door neighbour's, father-in-law and various other went on and on and on. Gielgud came on and said, "We open in 2 days' time." It worked. They packed up all that nonsense.
all right, the canteen. So at the BBC, you're filming on different sets, right? The canteen is communal. So you've got folks who are coming in from different productions. So how often is it that you're going to see someone in a Cyberman costume sitting down and then someone from like another show is coming in? Is that like a common occurrence with the canteen, where like everyone's kind of mingling, or do they keep you fairly?
Well, now.
I mean, in the before times.
If we're in costumes, they don't allow us to go into the canteen.
Sure.
Because of spoilers and lost laptops on trains and episodes ending up on the internet, all of that sort of stuff. So now, no. Before, yeah. We used to, when we played the Whispermen,
sure.
Which obviously we had our whole face and everything on and couldn't really eat anything messy, but we would go to the canteen to buy some soup and drink it through a straw, and then scare all the nurses that are working on casualty,
Right, sure.
which is quite good fun. But yes, but now it's a shared canteen at the Roadblock Studios, but now if we're in a costume, it's you know, total secret.
Sure.
Oh, well, I was going to say, there's when the BBC TV Centre was built, which I so sad that that's gone, that we don't use it anymore. And there was a green, it was called Green Assembly, Blue Assembly, Red Assembly, and they were all the different studios, and they all had small little tea bars. And so, and about 2 or 3 studios would share those tea bars. Then you would meet sort of mates, so if someone was doing Casualty, and then so you're doing Holby City, or you're doing, I know, something else. That's the time you would meet them, sort of maybe in their doctor's outfits or.
Sure.
Yeah.
We do occasionally hear what happens. I remember once, it was years ago, there was an actress called Kate Nelligan, and she was in a different show, and she was in the lift with that Maximilian Schell, who was a great Austrian actor, etc. And he pinched her bottom. This was years and years ago.
Yeah.
She clubbed him on the nose and was being interviewed, so they had to interview him sideways on with a lot of makeup. Now we found out about this because we were in different shows. When she came up into the restaurant, everybody stood up and cheered.
Nice. And rightfully so. All right. Yeah.
Quick question. You talked about how Television Center you're not using the original Television Center anymore. Television Center, that it's changed. It's not the original.
No, it's been BBC don't use it anymore. I think they've got one small studio at the centre now, haven't they? The TV Centre, Wood Lane.
No.
They've got one small studio.
I think
Yeah,
it's luxury flats or something.
Yeah, it's
They've changed it.
Well,
Yeah, I was
you mean
actually
the
just
BBC,
there.
the old BBC in wherever we used.
Wood Lane, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they used to have the pub next door.
No, this is the BBC TV Centre in.
It's still no.
It's there, but it's flats. It's no longer. I think they've got a small studio there.
That's actually what I was going to ask, because I was just there. I was in the audience for the Graham Norton show. That's there. They filmed from there.
Were you in
And
the red chair?
No, I did not do a red chair. But and I was curious because we were at the studio at the Television Center, and I thought it wasn't being used anymore.
No, I
but
do.
we
Yeah,
were.
you may well be right. I do believe there is one small studio there that
Okay.
they do use, but basically the whole thing's gone because it used to be a wardrobe department, scene docks. It was huge, and it was great. I loved it. Of course, on the 4th floor was the bar. And anybody who was anybody in television would be up there at about 4 o'clock when they finished shooting. And you had a great time talking to people up there and seeing various people.
I've only been there a couple of times. I think it was just for some live events. But when I was there, I wasn't very familiar with it. I found it very confusing to navigate. It was kind of like...
Yeah.
It was a circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, people, they say, oh, go that way, and it says, don't go this way. It's like the National Theatre. You go around here and you find a whole group of people trying to find, you're on the wrong floor, and then it's got all the directions the wrong way around, and then you meet the same people you saw going, oh boy.
So yeah, do you have a question?
Yes, if they were ever to recast the Valeyard, who do you think would be best suited to play him?
All right, so the question is, if they're going to recast a Valeyard, who do you feel is best suited to play him? I guess I'm assuming this one is directed at Michael Jason, or...
I mean, if others want to answer.
Well, I wouldn't, I always used to think Bill Nye would have made a very good job too. Or he could play the Valeyard. He might be a bit too old now. But you see, they should never have brought in the name of the Valeyard because it's messed them up over the years. What did John Hurt play? Now they're saying the Swarm is the Valeyard. I think I'm a bit better looking than that. I don't know. They should never have said it because either they bring, I wouldn't mind going back into it, but I think they think it's a bit too old-fashioned now, the way you don't bring back people because they think, oh, that's acting's out of style. It bloody isn't. If you get an actor who's reasonable in a part, you bring them back, but they should never have written it in to begin with because they didn't know what they were doing with Valeyard. I've done him on Big Finish, as you know, about 5 times now,
Yeah.
and the script's there are marvelous, and it's great doing him again with that, laugh. There was a guy who had to go back to Ohio, and he said, "Do the laugh," as he went round the corner. But who would you cast? no good at playing that.
What do you think, Fraser? You want to take your chance at the Valeyard? There you go. I'll take that raised drink as a yes. All right, yeah.
I remember, I heard a story about in remembrance of the Daleks, when they blew up a Dalek with special effects in a tunnel, in the train tunnel, and they said they blew off 200 years of soot and debris on the tunnel walls. Is that true? They used too much explosives?
Any of you there for that?
No, certainly not in the tunnel.
Not that he would admit to. Not that he would admit to. Yes?
Have you worked in other countries, and how does it compare working with the BBC versus...
So have you worked in other countries, and how does that compare to working with the BBC?
Yes, I worked did a series. I was going to do a series, and but unfortunately, I played this guy's brother. It was in Holland, and I went along to do a couple of episodes. I was speaking English, they were speaking Dutch, and it's called Duke and Ouderwijn. What it means, I do not know. And I was cast to play his brother, the long lost brother. And then I was going to go into it regularly. It was a long-running series, but the great shame was that the guy that was playing the lead died, so I didn't do it. But apart from speaking a foreign language, which I didn't understand, it was much the same process: rehearse, record, that sort of thing. So not a lot difference from the way we do it.
Yeah, I did a tiny part for about 2 or 3 days in Czechoslovakia with, it wasn't Jeremy Irons' version of the Borgias, it was an Irish actor and he was very good. I only had about 2.5 pages. I got paid a lot of money and I found them incredibly efficient. But the thing about that was there were Russians, Italians, Spanish, Portuguese, Germans, you name it. And after we'd known each other, well, I was there for about a week altogether, but I only had 2 days split. And by the time we'd been there about a couple of days, we all got together in the bar and various places, all grumbling about our respective governments.
That's always the thing that brings people together, grumbling about the respective governments.
Well, I guess Doctor Who is filmed in Wales, and then Doctor Who has also filmed in England, so I guess from the Welsh point of view, I have filmed in another country.